Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you are new, if you could just take 1 second, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications so you won't miss any of my future videos. But the other day, I was having a conversation with one of my friends about how I felt like in the month of December, I really did a not so great job at, meal planning and sticking to my workouts because I feel like I didn't take the time to plan them out. And I thought even with the chaos of the holiday season, I could just wing it. And man, was I wrong. And she said something like, your system crashed. And now it looks like you're building it back up. Because I mentioned that I have my planner and I'm mapping out my workout days and shopping lists and meals and got back into, prepping some foods for the week, like, veggies and some lunches. And I feel like that conversation got me thinking about how important having a system in place is for having successful weight loss, especially for me on a GLP-1. So today, I thought I would give my honest advice to you if you're just starting a GLP-1, and it's just really going to be around building your own system, which I think is a tad different than, advice you may get for, beginners tips like shot day tips, dosing, foods to avoid, side effects that could happen. I mean, I could go on. But I do believe that this will help you lose weight easier and more efficiently. I know it does for me. And I know, like, when I first started, and I'm thinking back, this was key to me because it also allowed me to avoid being overwhelmed by all the information that's out there or getting burned out in that first month. Because I think the biggest thing is finding a system that's going to work for you. Not what your family, your friends, or your coworkers, they've all lost weight before and they're telling you, you must try this system that I put into place. And also the amount of times that I can go and read some comments in GLP-1 groups about, recommendations that they're giving out, try low carb, keto, carnivore, intermittent fasting, all these supplements, products, do this, do that. And they mean well because it has worked for them. So don't get me wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just think you need to find what's going to help you find success with losing weight on a GLP-1. And when you go into the comments or recommendations, you should take it from what are the things I can pick from it to cater to my own goals and this new system I want to put in place. If you're anything like me, you have probably set goals that you want to hit, like weekly weight loss numbers, hitting your calories for the day. But what if I told you that goals are all about the results that you want to achieve? And when you look at systems are about the processes that lead to those results. And I do believe having a system-first mentality provides, I think, the antidote to a GLP weight loss success. I mean, it could be in so much more than just weight loss, but when you fall in love with the process rather than the product, you don't have to wait to give yourself, permission to be happy. You can be satisfied anytime your system is running. And a system can be, successful in so many different forms and not just the one that you might envision initially. And I believe this is a powerful approach to losing weight on a GLP-1 because it lets you focus on really creating the sustainable, repeatable processes rather than quick fixes or, intense short-term goals like I got to lose 40 pounds in the first month. This mentality, I think, encourages you to build habits and routines that really can lead to long-term success. And I will talk about how this worked for me because I did this from day one and I really followed some common sense, simple practices that ultimately led to my 93-pound weight loss on Mounjaro and now tirzepatide. So first up, I believe having a system helps you focus on consistency, not motivation, because motivation can come and go. There are days where you're going to be super excited to work out or, follow your meal plan and maybe not so much the other. But systems, they don't rely on motivation. They're about creating a structure that you follow no matter how you are feeling, whether it's, prepping your meals or sticking to a workout routine or just tracking your progress. I think a system keeps you just moving forward consistently. I also created, and I've said this before, a list of foods that I enjoyed, and I had themes for each day of the week. Like you hear, Taco Tuesdays, I did Taco Tuesdays. Steak Saturdays, Seafood Sundays. Mondays were like a takeout theme where it was like homemade chicken tenders, sweet potato fries. And I repeated these things for months because, you know, you look at Taco Tuesdays, you don't just have to have ground beef. You could do ground turkey. There's so much variety out there that you can choose. So instead of waiting for motivation to strike, you just do the work because it's already built out for you in your system. And for some way, it was kind of fun for me. And then also next, a system reduces decision fatigue. And this is number one for me because every single decision you make throughout the day uses mental energy. From what you eat, when you should be working out, or you know what, maybe I just might skip my gym session today. After a while, that mental load can, get pretty heavy in my opinion. But when you have a system in place, you don't need to make all of these decisions all the time. They're already decided for you, which is why I love to map out my week. And, sometimes I do the whole month for certain topics. So the decision's already just made for me. If it's a lower body day, then I go to the gym and I have a certain set of, lower body exercises and I follow my plan. And I also know that I go into the office most of the time on Wednesdays. So that day, I just, say during the day, move a little bit more to get your steps in. And then at lunchtime, go for a 30-minute walk outside. I have my meals mapped out. And, when I get up, I also then know that I can just focus on hydration. And then I could just make a smoothie, yogurt bowl, or eggs, just based on what I planned out in my planner for that week. And veggies are prepped. I have meat thawing, in the fridge for, dinners. And I say, imagine you've got a meal plan for the week and a set workout schedule. All you have to do is just follow them. And I think that's so much less stress and less decision making, and you really will see results. Because a system-first approach also encourages long-term lifestyle changes. Weight loss isn't just about losing a couple pounds. It's about, I think, creating habits that are going to last. By focusing on systems like, regular exercise or mindful eating or really getting some good sleep, you're setting yourself up for that sustainable weight loss because it's about making permanent changes to your life, not just temporary fixes. And it's really the system you built for yourself and one that you can follow. Your system may not look like mine or anyone else's. And that to me makes you successful. Because in the beginning, when you start taking Mounjaro, Tirzepatide, Zepbound, and you know that the day after shot, you're most likely going to feel fatigued. Well, don't schedule some high intense workout that next day. Like for me, I did upper body. And then I walked to and from the gym to get fresh air. There's no way I could do a high intensity workout or even a leg day. And if I tried, I knew I'd be miserable and I would fail. So I avoided failure. I also knew that I had to pay close attention to my eating, especially the day after the shot because the appetite suppression was so strong. So I mapped out my meals for that day and the timing, and I just stuck to my plan. Plus, I was eating foods that I wanted to eat based on the list I created. And I just put my focus on the goal of hitting my protein because I was still learning. Instead of, crash dieting or trying to follow the latest fad, of eating next to no calories because you just weren't hungry, I was making simple, effective changes that I could actually keep up with over time. And one of the best parts of a system is that you can actually track your progress. You'll have measurable actions like, counting calories, tracking your steps, or logging workouts. When you see progress, it motivates you to keep going. And it also helps you, if you need to, fine-tune the things that aren't working. Like tracking or counting calories, I know that is not for everybody, but for me, you might be shocked by this, I enjoy doing it, especially in the beginning, because I treated it more like a guide or a visual that I could learn from. And it really taught me portion control. And at times, I didn't have to track because I trusted my system I had in place to allow me to eat healthier and limit those cravings. And I was sticking to my, my meal plans, my system. And with a system, you can easily adjust it if something's not working. You've got the real data for you to guide you, because weight loss can be so overwhelming, especially in the beginning, but it also can be throughout your entire weight loss journey if you're hitting plateaus. And don't try to do everything at once. Sometimes you're like, I want to eat better, work out, I want to sleep, like a baby, 8-9 hours, a night. And it's just a lot to manage in the beginning, but a system lets you break it down into manageable steps so you don't feel overwhelmed, because small, consistent actions lead to big results. With a system, you can focus on just one thing at a time and then build and grow gradually. And it just makes the whole process so much easier. And I believe doing this, I have been able to not only lose 93 pounds, but stay on the course for almost 21 months. I started small. Like I said, I focused on, hydration and protein intake and tracking my calories to learn from it from my food list. And you know what? Just go to the gym 4 days a week, but keep an eye on your daily steps. And now I'm learning more about, the macros that are addition to protein, like fats and carbs, and how I can utilize those to optimize my metabolism. And if you watched my last video where I talked about, January plans, I didn't make 1,000 changes entering into this new phase. I implemented a couple into my system, and then I'm going to, evaluate it at the end of the month and then build it out for February. Because I also think systems can help you stay accountable. Whether, you're tracking your meals, following your workout schedule, or even just sharing your progress with, somebody in your family or a friend or in a community Facebook group. Having a system naturally keeps you accountable. It's harder to skip workouts when, it's on your calendar, or you forget to log your meals when you're tracking them daily so you don't forget. It's a routine, it's a habit. And accountability is just huge for success. As you stick to your system, you'll start to see, I think, small wins, whether that's losing weight, feeling more energetic, or your clothes are starting to feel better. These are just positive results, that can build confidence and just reinforce that the system is working and it's making it easier and you're staying on track, because progress is motivating. And when you're seeing it, you're going to keep going. I lost 15 pounds my first month, and I was not killing myself in the gym for probably the first time in my entire life. I was eating foods that, I wasn't eating foods that somebody told me that I needed to eat, and I was hating it. I wasn't restricting calories so low that I was doing more harm than good. I saw progress with the system I built for myself. I think with or without seeing a big weight loss number the first month, I probably don't think I would have felt discouraged, because I wasn't gaining weight like, all the months prior. And I could see myself getting stronger in the gym. And also, finally, a solid system can help reduce emotional eating, which is key for me. So instead of turning to food when you're stressed or upset, you have a system in place like, mindful eating or drinking water. A routine helps you deal with emotions, I think, in a healthier way. When your system is built on healthy habits, you're less likely to let your emotions drive your eating choices. And this reminds me of last month. I deviated slightly from my system. I wasn't focused on the meal planning, the tracking my progress, that I could feel myself having to talk myself into going to the gym. Or I would open up the fridge and just stare at it. And I'm like, I don't know I don't feel like eating anything. What do I want? And it's because I didn't plan anything for that day. And some of the eating habits of the past started to creep in a little bit. The convenience foods creeped in. But I remembered a quote that said, reset, restart, refocus as many times as you need, but do not quit. I got my system back up and running with just one simple step, and that was to plan out my meals for the week. That was it. And I fell right back into the place that I wanted to be. So there you have it. I think having a system first mentality is the key to GLP weight loss success, because focusing on consistent habit tracking, progress, and making sustainable changes, you are going to set yourself up for a lifetime success and not just some temporary fix. But if you found this video helpful, please, like I said, like, comment, and subscribe. But I would love to hear what kind of systems you're setting up. Did you change any of your system for, January or 2025? Drop a comment below. And if you haven't watched my video on my plans for this month of January and the slight changes I made to, my overall system, check out this video. But until next time, stay healthy, stay consistent, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.